Well, a new and harsh spotlight is shining on the widespread problem of kidnapping for money in Mexico. In 2007, American Jane Vilseca and her husband, Eduardo, were driving their 3 children to school in Mexico when out of nowhere they were ambushed. Now, Jane escaped, but her husband was kidnapped and tortured, starved, and even shot during 7 months of captivity. The story is in Jane's new book, We Have Your Husband, one woman's terrifying story of a kidnapping in Mexico. And they're here with us now. It is good to see you. Thanks very much. I can't even imagine what this was like for both of you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. We're turning a bad experience into something positive. We worry a lot about all these people that are being kidnapped and killed in Mexico, and both governments are not doing enough. So we're really trying to be more active about both governments trying to avoid all this horrible tragedy that is going on every single day.
Jane, you really have turned this into a cause. I know you've contacted Dana Rohrabacher, the congressman from California.
That's right.
Why do you think this is so important? What do you think the U.S. government should do?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I've done now almost 4 years of investigating since the kidnapping, while he was being held and after, and I was shocked to find out that the suspected group of kidnappers, this is not just about kidnapping. They're actually a group of, it's a Revolutionary Army, but they have international links, including links to the Middle East. And what they're doing is they're establishing an international network, and they use kidnapping as a way to raise funds. In one of the last kidnapping cases, they were able to get a $30 million ransom. And this is just one of dozens and dozens of kidnappings. So we're talking about a couple $100 million that these people have been able to raise through the years or more. And they have these international connections.
So why you? Why Eduardo?
Simply because they wanted money. This is all about money, and they thought because of his last name and his father's fame that he had a lot of cash, and we just did not.
Do you believe that these kidnappers may be tied to al-Qaeda, which is something that obviously would raise the concerns of Americans?
Well, in the investigation that I've done, yes. There was a publication in a very important Mexican newspaper, Reforma. It's sort of the New York Times of Mexico, if you will, and there were some important articles a few years back talking about that very link. And if you think about it, if al-Qaeda were to look for someone in Mexico to team up with, they're going to look for someone who has a lot in common with them. And a hatred to the United States is definitely what this group has. They're communists, they're Marxists, they want to overthrow the government, they hate the United States and what we stand for. They've attacked Americans before and American businesses, including Sears buildings, Banamex locations, which is owned by Citicorp, of course. So this is something that I think the United States government should be looking at, and I don't believe they are. So that's why we've reached out to people like Dana Rohrabacher.
And to give us a sense of exactly what these people are willing to do to reach their goals, Eduardo, tell us a little bit about your 7 months being held as a captive.
Well, I can tell you they're trained, military trained, and of course it was terrible. They shot me twice, and they didn't feed me. I was really dying, and they take you to just the borderline where you're really dying, and they know what they're doing. They're professionals, and what Jenny was saying is very important, because now that they found Osama bin Laden computers, they looked, and he was trying to hit again the United States with Latins, not with the same group of Arabs that the United States knows about. Now he was trying to recruit Latins, and that's where the danger lays on.
And in fact, when you finally saw Eduardo, what should have been this amazing, happy reunion, you didn't even recognize him, did you?
I didn't. No, it was just amazing to me that these people could have been that cruel. He wasn't recognizable. He was about half of his normal weight and looked like a 90-year-old man. Luckily, all of that had a remedy, and with some good food and lots of love from the kids and I, he bounced back very quickly. He's an extraordinary man. I admire my husband so much. He's my hero.
Do you think that, given the death of Osama bin Laden and the renewed focus on this, that it helps your cause?
I think so, and I really hope that our governments start coordinating the effort more and really taking this seriously, because I do think that it poses a threat to Mexican national security and U.S. national security to have these groups out there and nobody investigating and doing anything about it, which is why I wrote the book.
Well,
really.
Eduardo and Jane Valseca, thank you so much for coming in and telling your story. It is good to meet you both, and you look fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you back.
And just to let you know, the book is called We Have Your Husband, and it's out now in bookstores.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.